Well, we're down to a 4-day summer racing schedule here at Gulfstream Park. We're back at it with a live card Thursday with a first race post of 1:15 p.m. It's Acacia and Jason joining you from our paddock studios at Acacia. Well, we have about 900,000 reasons you might want to take a look at Thursday's Rainbow Six.
Yes, we do. It starts in race number 4 on Thursday. Of course, our first post is 1:15 p.m. And as you said, just shy of $900,000. That pool has eclipsed the $1 million mark the last couple of days that we've had live racing here. And I can imagine it's going to be well past that on Thursday.
I've been here for a month and a half or so, and loving South Florida and working with you and Ron and everybody here at Gulfstream Park. One of the real neat things about the gig, though, is watching this carryover pool. Each and every day, there's no single winner, just get higher and bigger and bigger. So there you go, $898 and change. Race number 4, as Acacia perfectly put it, is the starting point. And, well, no surprise, you, me, and I think the world singling, for Rainbow Six purposes, editorial for Pletcher and Gaffleone.
Second-time starter on the turf for a very potent duo lately here at the Gulfstream Park Summer Meet. And of course, editorial has the breeding there. He is kin to Uncle Mo, the little brother, in fact, but he's by Warfront. He's out of a multiple stakes place mare that won twice on the turf. He was beaten just ahead behind Flag Officer last time out, who did have experience on him. So I think that he's coming in strong into this race and is that free bingo square, if you will.
Indeed he is. We might call Thursday. And look, he's got to go out there and do it, editorial, but you might call Thursday's Rainbow Six almost a Rainbow 5 with his presence in that field of maidens. On to the 5th race, leg number 2. You'll go 4 deep, I'll go 3 deep, but we very much, and I'm not surprised to see, we both covered our bases with the 6 turncoat, who's off the claim for Armando de la Cerda, the number 9, Who's Your Drama, on the drop for my man Eddie Olczyk, who's part owner, Fernando Abreu trains, and the drop down, and maybe the wild card is the 10, Jada the Croft.
I think he is, and I like the stretch out in distance for Jada the Croft. He's going to be second off that big layoff now. My notes last time, I thought he needed one, so I'm really looking forward to him for this race for Steve Clasaris. My long shot play of the day is the number 3, Vigas, so I did use him. He's got a lot of speed and a good inside post. Could be the main dictating speed unless we see a lot more zip from Jada the Croft on that stretch out.
Now it gets interesting just about halfway home in Thursday's sequence as we get on to leg number 3 in the 6, which, by the way, is a 3-and-up filly and mare, $30,000 to $25,000 claimer on the dirt, going 7 furlongs. I like the 6 and 7. You, however, use the 1, 5, and 7. Now, I'll give a pop to the 6, Gracie's Spirit, who I thought ran very well. Now, granted, she hugged the rail, but she did so in the slop last time as the race was unfolding to her outside. Truge, who won that race, closed from 8th and was way out in the middle of the track. I really, really like the last 2 sprinting dirt efforts for Gracie's Spirit. And Vicky's Queen is properly spotted for Victor Barboza Jr., who's 5th in the standings here. And she, I think, even with our disagreements, she's a must-use.
She absolutely is. A big win last time by more than 9 lengths to break her maiden at the mile. Slight turn back to the 7/8 right now. And I must say, I'm a little surprised she didn't use the 1, Easy's Mistress. I just think on the drop, I know she's had her questions. Her form has been dirtied up. But if you look at her race 2 starts back, going 6 furlongs against claiming types, 35,000. She was beaten just a length behind South, who's a horse that's been in excellent form lately and has put multiple wins together. She was stuck behind multiple stakes winning Who's the Lady in a couple of starts. She just might finally find her right friends here in the 6th
No,
race.
you make some good points. The drop is no doubt big with the 1, Easy's Mistress. Maybe a little bit of a miss by me not including her, but I can always go and put this ticket in again before Thursday starts. That's the beauty of doing this show and talking about the races. On to the 7th, a 4-bagger for me on the turf in a race I think we're going to get some hitting towards the front of the pack. I'll go 1, 3, 5, 6. I am a big fan tomorrow, on Thursday that is, of the 1, Adios Nardo. Liked his last race quite a bit. He's the elder statesman, the 8-year-old in Thursday's 7th. Thought he ran really well against the grain of a turf that was favoring early speed in his last start. General McGooby. Now, he's one of the youngsters, 3-year-old meeting older for the first time, but I like his turf races so far and his versatility. I will also use the 5, Fair Prospect, who I think has got a chance just because of his consistency and of the speeds, and we might get a hot pace. I am going to use the 6 just fooling around. I don't really particularly care for him, but of both he and Charlie Mops, I think he's a better horse personally.
Yeah, and you didn't use Charlie Mops at all. I included
Charlie
him.
Mops?
Charlie Mops, the one and only. I used him a little bit further down, but I did include him. I agree with everything you said about Adios Nardo. I think he had a tough time last time. I took the wait-and-see approach on General Magooby. Maybe if you can spread a little bit more in this race, this would be the one to do it. I also am intrigued by Just Fooling Around. I think he had a big performance beyond completely bonkers last time out and is in good form for Fernando.
Moving on to race number 8. Well, we've got 4 legs down, 2 more remain. I hope we get live. Hopefully this plays out and you and I are both live heading into a 1-2-7 and 1-2-6 spread in the 8th race. That will include the one That's a Myth, the 2 Charlie Secret, who's probably the filly to beat in this one as she gets her claiming price slashed in half for the Cassie barn. And I'll also use the 7 Walking Primrose. I'll give her a little chance on the dirt. I thought her last race going a bit further on the dirt in the slot, mind you, was an okay effort. Milbra's the one that you used that I didn't use, and I'm assuming you just like the fact that she picks up checks, and maybe today or Thursday could be your day.
Yeah, she does pick up checks. She's been in the money in her last 4 starts, and normally I wouldn't use a horse like this, but I thought that there is a little bit of speed and she could sit just behind that pace. We certainly see speed to the rail from That's a Myth. Walking Primrose has speed as well, and Milbra could be sitting just in a catbird seat.
All right, let's wrap up the Thursday card and that $900,000 Rainbow 6 carryover with the nightcap. I'll use Kabuki and the 11 Mizzen My Honeymoon. I like the name, and you'll of course include you won't use the 11 horse, Mizzen My Honeymoon. I just want to say her name as many times as I can before we say goodbye. You'll use the first or Glorious Venezuela and the 9 Kabuki. Kabuki Acacia, hands down, I think is the key to the race. The good, quote-unquote, Kabuki is probably going to win, but therein lies the problem with her.
Yes, if she runs anything like she did in a race 3 starts back where she was beaten just a head behind Royal Chapeau when she had a huge late run. Last time out, she dropped back down to the level I thought she was going to be consistent. I loved her last time, and she didn't show up. She has to show up today, but I think she meets the right field, and I thought that this was actually a tough race to close out the sequence, so I also included a first-time starter in Glorious Venezuela, just based off the fact that it's for a strong barn. Now, first-time starters on the turf, not a strong move for the barn, but this one, she is by Big Brown, and that work most recently on June 10th at Gulfstream Park West, 3 furlongs going 35-1. That is motoring over that deep track over there, and she does have Emisel Jaramillo in the saddle.
Good connections, and it won't take a monster effort to get it done in the nightcap, which might open up the door for the first or Glorious Venezuela. It will be a glorious Thursday here at Gulfstream Park. Acacia and myself will be on the air with Gulfstream today at about 12:15. Make sure everybody, by the way, in case you're not aware, checks out our new show, Gulfstream Weekly, which will be posted online.
Absolutely, and don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter. Keep up with all of those updates. We'll have Twitter questions each and every week, and of course some picks and some Rainbow 6 tips if we can.
Have fun studying up, and best of luck in Thursday's gigantic carryover.